good to put a seat out in the canal, and we talked that day extensively, and like we grew up with people like Clobber, Fitzgibbon and Testman, and everyone had a name, Tommy was calling the name their Bloodmore and stuff like that, and you just don't see it anymore. And I wonder, like, will we ever go back to a time when when you had the characters and the kind of stories, I'll be the most them lies, but that we ever had in Tralee, back in those days.
I think it's gone. It's gone, Francis. I'm afraid it's like you were saying about Willie and Fitz. Like, I remember we got up Willie, we was following him. He had a brick now like that, and he'd take out the brick and he'd put his money into the back of the wall, and then push in the brick and we'd go up and rob it.
Yeah, Michael, regarding the question about the characters,
Francis spoke about his father Frank was a great character, and the one thing about the characters, Sean, they had a great turn of wit, and they could turn a story or an incident. And I tell a story about Frank. We after running a marathon one time, he was with another chap who was much like myself now, with grey hair, and they were both the same age. Frank and this guy were the same age. And Frank used to tell a story that was supposed to have happened after a marathon, and the chap in question was Pa Lynch, and which was he's one of the famous Lynches. They're all singers and they're all in bands too.
But Pat just do the running.
Pa used to do the running. Yeah. So Frank and Pa ran the Dublin City Marathon. They got into the lift after, and Frank always told the story that as they got into the lift, a couple of Yanks got into the lift as well, and of course they were obviously after doing the marathon, and the Yanks said, "Gee guys, you did the marathon?" We did, says Frank. And what time did you do? And Frank said, well, I did just under 3 hours, which he was capable of on a good day. And they looked at Pa and they said to Frank, back to Frank again, they said, and what time did your daddy do?